Hi, I'm Van Smith, the Success and Profits Advisor, and today we're going to talk about how to increase your profits by 65%. My purpose today is to reward your investment of time by number 1, showing how to dramatically increase your sales and profits. 2, by sharing top success strategies used by other legal firms. A little bit about myself: 10 years of success in a small business when I first got out of undergraduate. Then I went back to get an MBA from the Entrepreneurial School of the U.S., Babson College. Then I spent 20 years of success and business leadership. I had 6 different careers at Digital Equipment Corporation before it disappeared. I delivered a dramatic 7-fold increase in awareness for Nortel Networks, which was formed by the merger of Bay Networks and Nortel Telecom. And then I've spent over 8 years now as a successful business advisor. Some of the early successes was a 275% return on investment by redesigning a lead generation campaign for a company. Another was a 200% increase of profits by coming up with a menu of fixed price packages, services for an attorney that you'll meet in a little while. And then some smaller successes, 69% increase in productivity gain by cutting 3 hours per sales call for a small company. So the question is, may I share strategy with you in the next hour or so? And if you stay on, I'll assume the answer is yes. Today's guarantee is that you will learn specific steps and strategies to increase profits and systemize your practice. Now, will you agree to take action within the next 7 days if you learn something today? Because if you don't, it will all be lost. If you stay on, I'll assume the answer is yes. The name of the game is profits. Without them, you're gone. Now, who's responsible for creating profits to your firm? Hint, the right answer is you. Now, I use a tool called the Profit Generator, which allows us really to zero in on the 5 things that you have control over. Number 1 is the number of leads. Number 2 is your conversion rate. How many of those leads, if they're qualified, do you convert into customers? That gives us the customers. Number 3 is the sale price. What do you charge for your services? Are you still doing hourly, or do you have fixed price packages? Number 4 is the number of times you sell. Do you have more than one thing to sell your clients? Those equal revenue. And then number 5 is your profit margin. How much of every dollar do you get to keep? And that gives us our profit. So those 5 things are what I call the 5 profit generators. What's your definition of selling? I want you to write it down, and I'm going to give you mine in just a second. So write down your definition of selling. Because my definition is a little different than a lot of others. It's helping people buy the things or services they want or need. And there's a really important flip of shoving stuff on people, which is what a lot of my clients start off thinking selling is, forcing people to buy stuff they don't want, and turning that around and saying, no, I'm helping people buy the things and services they want or need. So the first step that we want to look at is conversion. That was my second step in the thought. But the reason I want to start with that is if someone has expressed an interest, you're already halfway done. So we can increase conversion by having a clear, unique sales proposition. A unique sales proposition is what makes you different from everybody else. And yes, something does. Otherwise, you're in a commodity business. It may be your customer service, it may be your educational background, but something makes you different. And we need to define that very clearly. Second thing is I recommend using a script, which is not robotic, hi, I'm Van, I'm here to sell you. But instead it's an outline of the points in the order that has worked for you. So that we're always working from something that has worked. We may try and tweak it to make it more effective, but we're using something that is tried and true. The second thing is using a pricing sheet. And that's especially true if you do have fixed price packages. But a pricing sheet is a list of services and what's included in them, and then on the other side is the price. What I love to see is what I call the consumer report type of style, where for an expensive package, there's only a few bullets. But for your big package, there's a whole row of black bullets, and then you show a bigger price for it. It makes it very easy for them to understand why maybe it's good, better, best, or bronze, silver, and gold packages. Why is the gold package more? Well, because you offer a lot more services. But I find that using a script and using a pricing sheet overcomes a lot of resistance that people have, because a pricing sheet doesn't look like you're winging it. Number 3 is I recommend using testimonials. Testimonials are very important because someone else can say that you're wonderful and people will believe it 10 times more often than if you say how wonderful you are. So use a testimonial. We'll talk about how to create a testimonial. I've got a really neat process for doing that. But you want to use testimonials. And then the one that usually causes prospective clients to sort of gulp is when I say, use a guarantee. And no, I'm not talking about money back. That's the last thing anybody wants. They don't want their money back. They want you to provide the services that you say you will, that will be high quality and will be good. So you want to use a guarantee. Satisfaction guaranteed is one of the best ones because it says you'll keep working until they're satisfied. Now, I do not encourage you to discount your services. If you want to give away something, give away a low cost, high perceived value product or service from others. One of my clients works with a lot of seniors who are downsizing. And so he has a deal with a moving company in which he gives, quote unquote, a free room. In point of fact, the moving company gives that discount anyway. But because they are not working to get the referral, they claim that they're giving a one-room discount for anybody who is a client of Attorney Jones. If we go back and look at our leads example again, we're going to start off and we're going to say the number of leads before we do anything is 220. Our conversion rate is 25%, so we've got 55 customers for the year. If our sales price on average is around $6,000 and we have enough couples that we're getting 1.2 sales. In other words, we've got a lot of singles, so it's only one sale, but we've got enough couples, so it gets to be 1.2. Then our revenue is going to be $400K. If our profit margin is 25%, then our profit is $100K. That's a very straightforward, simple approach. Now, your accountant will add all kinds of stuff to it. For you as a management tool, if you can get to these numbers so that you know the 5 variables to your bottom line, you'll be able to really focus your marketing. Do you think we can get a 10% increase in our conversion rate? By all those steps that we just took, can we get that up by 10%? And the answer is probably yes. 10% takes us up to 27.5%. And that's very, very doable for most of my clients. In point of fact, your conversion rate should be pretty close to 80% of qualified clients. Once we've gotten our conversion up to a good rate, because again, these are converting those who are really qualified for our business, then we want to work on our client acquisition. That's where the money is spent for marketing and the like. So you see why it makes no sense to spend a lot of money on client acquisition if less than 10% of the good prospects are converted into clients. We want to talk about lead generation first and foremost. And that's because all communication from you to the marketplace is based on WIIFM. What's in it for me? And this is the most important thing. When you talk about your business, most attorneys start talking about their qualifications, their years of experience, their education, all this kind of stuff, which quite frankly, to your clients, is not the primary question they want answered. The primary question they want answered is, can you do what I need at a price that I can afford? Are you good enough to guarantee the work is going to work for me? So they want to know what's in it for them. Now, the absolute best way to get leads is referrals. What you say, people put a certain filter on, so they don't accept all of it. But what a client of yours says about you, that is the gold standard. So getting someone who is a client to make a referral to one of their friends to say, you've got to work with Attorney Jones, that is the gold standard. And we'll talk about how to do referrals, a step-by-step process that'll get through all the problems you've ever had with it. Number 3 is a strategic alliance, because the next best thing to a customer talking about how wonderful you are, or a client, is to have a third party who says, oh, I know Attorney Jones, and he or she is a really good attorney, and this is why I would do it. So, and this is the best leverage of your time, because you're not even doing the selling work. You're simply sitting at your desk doing work, and somebody else is talking about you. And we can talk about how to do it, but finding other people that deal with the elderly or people who are looking to get elder law care, then that's the best possible place to go for it. The other one that I really push is networking, and I've got what's called the rule of threes, and I won't go into all of it, but basically when you're out networking, has anybody ever walked up to you and almost buttonholed you and started talking and talking and talking, and it's 10-15 minutes later before you get away? That is not the way to do networking. The rule of three says that you've got 3 seconds to say who you are in an interesting enough way that the person says, tell me more. So mine might be, I help attorneys make lots more money. Something provocative. So the person says, if it's an attorney, he or she says, how do you do that? Now you've got the right to do a 30-second pitch. But then you stop and be quiet and see if they ask you for it. And if they do, then you can give them a 3-minute pitch. Now that's all I would ever do at a networking meeting, because after that you go to a 30-minute pitch. I would never do a 30-minute pitch in the middle of a networking meeting. So I would do a 3-second, 30-second, and maybe a 3-minute. And then I would say that if things are going well, make an appointment to have a cup of coffee and talk to them about it elsewhere. A couple other ones that are really great for client acquisition is constant contact, which you probably know about, and then something called send-out cards, which I like a lot better, especially for your industry. Send-out cards is a greeting card that you're able to create online, but then it is printed on a real printing press, stuffed into a real envelope, put a real stamp on it, and mailed off. And the advantage of this is you can make something that is very personal, very interesting. It's not an email message which can be thrown out, but instead it is the speed of an email message for you creating it, but it has the impact of a greeting card. And if you want to try it out, you're welcome to go to sendoutcards.com/success and profits. And then you can send out a card on me because I am a distributor because so many of my clients wanted it. Another thing that a number of my clients do is they do presentations, either at nursing homes to the staff or to the nurses at a hospital. And they go in and talk about what services they provide. This is especially true if you do the life care planning part of it. The elder law, somewhat, it may still be of interest, especially at the hospital. But by the time they're in the nursing home, they're probably more into the elder life care. So think about how you could do presentations at places like that. And then I've got a whole other course which is on social media, which if you're not involved in, I think you've got to get involved in. That's Twitter, blogs, YouTube, Facebook. Those are all things that are really important in the future. So now if we go back to our model, if we say, can we get a 10% increase in the number of leads by doing all those things? So that takes us from 220 to 242. And since we've already our conversion rate up from 25% to 27.5, we now go from 55 customers to 67 customers, an increase of 20%. Now for each of these other ones, I have an equal number of strategy about how to increase your sales price, how to increase the number of sales, how to increase your profit margin. So if we're able to get each of these up by 10%, our profit goes from 100 to 162K. That's a 22% increase in customers, a 47% increase in revenue, and a 61% increase in profits. And that's by doing a simple 10% increase on 5 variables. And I have found with all my clients, that is definitely doable. A 61% increase in your bottom line is very doable. It's not terribly expensive, and it can be found money, as it were. Now, here's an example of one of my clients, Robert Plotkin. He's a patent attorney. For a client acquisition plan, he looked at strategic alliances because he only does software patents, so anybody who came for anything else, he could refer to somebody else. They would refer software patents to him. He came up with, I think it may be the first in his industry, fixed price packages of patents, because patents are very expensive things. And instead of charging X number of dollars an hour, he would say this is a small, medium, large patent, and so it's worth 5K, 10K, 15K, whatever, right? And that did a lot better job of converting. People said, okay, I'll pony up that. On the revenue side, he used reminders and international filings. This allowed him to get more sales per person. Then he also did a menu of services with add-ons, so another way of getting more business. And then for profit margin, he had a very interesting idea. He increased his rate 8% each year on his A clients. You know, those are the awesome clients. You got A, B, C, and D, awesome, boring, can't stand it, deadwood. I hope you don't have any deadwood. He did, but he raised the prices on his deadwood, his D clients, by 15%. Net result was, in the first year we worked together, his profits were up by 130%. Second year, he took time off to write a book, but he still managed to increase it by 28%. And the third year, when he came back, he was able to double his profits by following the methodology that I've shown. All right, so the next slide is talking about what did a 10% yearly increase over 5 years give us. And so it says that we can do that same kind of an increase of 10% each year. Then by the end of 5 years, we can be up by 976% in our bottom line profit. So we've gone from $100K to $1 million in 5 years by a 10% increase each year. And yes, it gets harder. As we get further out, it becomes harder. But it's actually quite a bit easier to do much more than 10% in the first year. So cumulatively, we can see a very dramatic increase by taking this very systematic, very logical approach to increasing profits. Now, is that possible in your practice? Quite honestly, it depends on whether you believe it is or not. If you say, I can't do it, you're right, you can't do it. If you say you can do it, you're also right, you can do it. Now, I really love Warren Buffett. He's got so many wonderful quotes and such like, and the one he has that I like the best is, it is not necessary to do extraordinary things to get extraordinary results. To increase your profits by over 900% is an extraordinary result. But we don't have to do any extraordinary things to make it happen. That's giving you a very brief overview of the approach that I take. So you now have a choice to make. You've invested your time and learned some concepts to achieve greater success. Now comes the time for your choice. Will you, 1, take what you've learned and go it alone? Or 2, hire an experienced advisor to teach you? You may be thinking to yourself, what assistance is available? The first one is a business educational series. And there are 3 components to that. 1, there's 2 55-minute webinars per month to learn which strategies would work best for you. Second, there's a 55-minute group conference call per month to answer questions. That's optional. And third, there's also a 15-minute one-on-one call per month to discuss materials, implementations, anything you want to talk about. Again, that's optional. Now, the investment is $290 per month for 3 months, or you can save 15% and pay $750 for the quarter. Now, there is a limit to 25 participants for this course. Now, the other opportunity is one-on-one advising, and this is educational and accountability, and that accountability lets us make massive results. It's a 50-minute Skype session, weekly or twice a month, depending on which package you pick. Then there's unlimited email and phone support as needed. The investment ranges from $1,500 to $2,000 a month for 6 months, depending on whether we're doing 2 times a month or every week. Now, this is only offered if you and I both agree, after we've gone through an analysis of your business, that you can make 2 times my fee. I won't work for anybody and make them worse off. So at the very least, you've got to be able to make $3,000 to $4,000 by working with me. Otherwise, I will not offer you the package. It's that simple. That's what I can share with you. Those are the opportunities. If it looks like this is something of interest, either for the educational package or for the one-on-one advising, I would love to work with you. Please check out successandprofits.com and let me know if you're interested, or send mail to van@successandprofits.com. Thank you very much.